Coat then took off the pants until they were naked. SWAT break in. Escort the man to the car. He kept provoking the police. Let it search the house carefully. After some searching, the room is full of law books. The man disappeared for 10 years, started studying law, and the photo on the wall is very abrupt. It's a picture of the prosecutor shaking hands with the criminal. Ask about the criminal process. I didn't expect the other party to stand out. Little Black smiled slightly. I thought the case was so easy. Just about to turn around and leave. The man stopped him. According to the law, these words are not enough to convict. He wants to negotiate terms with Nick. And just 10 years ago, 2 thieves broke into the house. Binding a man and his wife, the fat man stabbed the man with a knife. Then he extended his claws to the woman. The daughter walked out of the room. The fat man was overjoyed when he saw this. Pick up the girl and walk to the room. Wife and daughter were humiliated and killed. Fortunately, the man was rescued in time. But living is more painful than dying. The 2 thieves were quickly caught. Man finds Nick. I want him to defend himself. Learning that the fat man is well connected. In order to ensure performance, the judge finally pronounced the skinny man who didn't kill was sentenced to death. And this fat pervert was only sentenced to 3 years in prison. The fat man found Nick and shook hands. Clyde see this scene. The murderous look in his eyes is wanton, but suddenly firm. Until 10 years later, Thin Man executed. With the injection of 3-8, he started convulsing violently. Lift up gently, constantly seeping blood from the body. The audience covered their eyes. The police immediately launched an investigation. Death penalty potion found to have been swapped. Nick immediately recognized it as Fatty's note. Before he mobilized the police to investigate at the same time, the fat man watches the news at home. He smiled coldly. And that's when the phone rings. The other party warned the fat man that the police were coming to catch him. Police cars are coming. He followed the instructions of the phone and came to a police car. The fat man stole the pistol, threatening the police with driving. They come to an abandoned warehouse. The fat man wants to kill the police. And that's when the phone rings. The man took off his disguise and the fat man pulled the trigger directly. Stinger ejected from the handle. Toxins enter the body instantaneously. The man thoughtfully explained to him that this toxin will only paralyze the movement. He tied up the fat man, take out various torture instruments, and then adrenaline. Guarantee that the fat man will not pass out. There is a photo of 7 meters on. He wants the fat man to watch the whole process of torture with his own eyes. The fat man's body was found. It was horrible. Even professional detectives can't help but be puppets. After investigation, it was found that this warehouse is where men meditate. The man takes his time, dragged naked. This shows that there is no intention to resist, and no injuries will be sustained during the arrest. Use legal loopholes to constantly exonerate yourself. See the other side compromise. The man said he wanted a Simmons mattress, so that you can sleep more comfortably. Nick said he would never compromise, okay? Let me think about that for a second. How about, wait for Nick to leave. He received a memorial service. It was his wife who called. It turned out that during the interrogation, the daughter thought it was an animation. The film was put on the TV to watch. I didn't expect it to be a video of a man's dismemberment. I heard my wife and daughter being threatened. He wants to use the video as evidence, but the people inside are wearing masks. Nick can only compromise. Mattress sent to prison. Against the prisoner's cries. In court a few days later, Nick says men are terrorists and confessed in person. This criminal must not be released. Hear the other party's statement. The man begins to perform. He claims to be a commoner, law-abiding citizen. Nick did not present any conclusive evidence. He said he was prosecuted and sentenced because the judge misjudged. Listen to a well-founded state. The judge immediately decided to release the man. And then the men clapped, spit at the judge. The other party is the judge who judges the fat man, causing the judge to railing deny. Nick can only interrogate again. Men pretend to be mentally ill, but the other party made the condition again at 1 p.m. today. Nick said he would no longer agree. Just as Nick about to turn around and leave, Clyde utters a name. Was the fat man's defense counsel? After investigation, this person has been missing for 3 days. Nick, hurry up and arrange the steak. Fortunately, it was delivered in time. Constantly checking for procrastination. When the steak is delivered to the man, it is already 1:08. Okay, here we go. 39 degrees, 57 minutes, 4 seconds north, 75 degrees. Penman's 22 seconds, well better. Hurry. Nick! Man, anybody's once put the war. You're already late. They came to a flat place, found the lawyer's purse. Several people immediately excavated. The lawyer had suffocated. The time of death was exactly 8 minutes ago. At the same time, man hides leftover bones, then slowly walked up to the cellmate. I need a shower. The guard was furious. The man was successfully admitted to a single room. I found an intelligence agent. He used to be a strategist at the Bureau, responsible for counterterrorism combat planning training. You don't even have to do it yourself to kill people invisibly. So what are you saying? You saying we can't stop walking into his cell and putting a board in his head? He and his superiors found the judge. Offer advice to isolate men. With some persuasion, the judge agreed to the request. Were you gonna take that after all the grief you've given me of the cell phone? Well, that's one of the benefits of being a judge, Mr. Nick. I can where do you want to do whatever I want. He found a man again. I can't imagine that the conditions of men are even more outrageous. He asked Nick to release himself before 6 o'clock and drop all charges. Otherwise, it will kill everyone. See the man's serious expression. Nick panicked instantly. I hurriedly called my colleagues to live in prison. Several people investigated all night long. Still no progress. Wait until 5:59. Crowd acrylic concentration. Staring at the swinging second hand. Until dispute 112. And nothing happens. And they breathed a sigh of relief. When Nick and his colleagues were about to turn around and leave, a strong explosion happened. Prosecutors were all killed. Only Nick was left standing there. At the funeral soon. Ministry of Justice superiors came to mourn. Who knows how many people a machine gun is aiming at? The machine gun is directly emptied, and the bullet man, Nick, wants to come forward to the rescue, and a cannonball comes flying. Several more Justice Department officials were killed. The mayor was furious and decided to borrow money to send police cars to patrol 24 hours a day. All the people are not allowed to go out, and Nick can check the information alone. Find all the man's belongings, and after searching one by one, finally find a suspicious warehouse. Found it full of mechanical parts and found a secret passage under an abandoned car. It's filled with all kinds of explosives and clothes for camouflage. They continued down the tunnel and entered a surveillance room. You can watch the every move of the crowd, and the endpoint is the Clyde cell. My colleague climbed up the ladder carefully, opened the entrance valve, and lifted the quilt. The man disguised as a cleaner passed through the heavy security checks and successfully entered the municipal building. Searching the municipal building, finding the bomb in the conference room, the bomb squad came right away. Found out that this bomb is very powerful. It can destroy entire buildings and detonate remotely. Wanting to dismantle is never a problem until the man returns to the cell. He persuades the other party to stop in time, and the man makes an offer again. I don't make deals or murderers anymore. You told me that finally. Seeing Nick finally understand the Clyde's relief, he pressed the detonation button without hesitation, and Nick hurriedly closed the cell door, and the tunnel entrance was also firmly locked. He pulls the bomb from under his bed and holds daughter's bracelet and smile. Ended his path of revenge in the flames